wow. Okay, we are recording.
Oh.
Can everyone hear everyone? Yes. Right?
Yeah, I can hear.
Okay. Uh-oh. Ian, are you arranged?
Yeah, I just thought, you know what, like, let them have arm. Is what
But we also want head, though.
I know. I'm figuring it out. Everybody calm down. It's giving good, though. You're like, if that's nice. That's really nice. Okay.
Yeah, they don't need head. I mean, they don't need head if they're getting arm. I love arm. Everyone looks kind of nice today. Let me see. The lighting is good. We've got a Christmas, the Italian flag.
There isn't. Yes, I noticed this.
Or Mexican.
There's an Italian flag. I haven't been with an Italian in a minute.
I have.
You have?
Have.
Wait.
Yeah.
Recently?
My boyfriend's half Jewish, half Italian.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh my God! I did not know.
That's why they never leave the house.
We leave. We go out.
No, you do leave. Yeah, you do leave.
See, I think, or just like I'm not computing, like I'm not following, because like when you said that, now I'm like, oh, you mean because they're Italian, so like all the families in the house, so they don't have to leave, like they've got everything they need. But you meant because they're having sex. Got it.
Correct.
And then earlier you said another thing where I was like, oh, I don't follow. Oh, Miss Jackson. I was just like, Janet. Like, is there like a meme where she froze or something like that? But then you said divorce court. So I feel I'm a little. I feel like I'll be catching up today. That's the vibe.
Yes, because it's the clip from divorce court where the judge is like, when was the last time you had sexual relations? Is that what she says, Johnny?
Something like that, yeah.
She says, when was the last time you had sexual relations with Miss Jackson? And he goes, this morning. And she just goes,
freezes. She's got like the wig on with like the blunt bang.
She's wearing royal blue. She's wearing like a work blouse, a royal blue work blouse. It's a great moment.
Maybe I'll be like, oh, that one, yes.
Yeah.
Hold on,
It's good. It's good.
So many times.
Mm-hmm.
I know, and it's a good one. You see her?
No, but just the essence of that photo gives me
it's exactly that. It is the same.
Because yes, yeah.
Both those moments are from the same tribe.
Got it.
Ian knows memes if they've reached Facebook.
I'm not even on Facebook.
No, but I mean,
you two are my Facebook.
But I'm saying because they're so well known, like they'd even be popular on Facebook. That's when you know you're like, oh, okay, I've seen that. That's because even someone's grandmother has seen that. So of course you've seen it.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
It's not. I mean, you're just not chronically online like most people.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not. But I have
on the Twitter. You're not on X.
No, I'm not on X. I
way.
Thankfully, you know, I leave that to you two to do all of that for me. But I have been more online than ever in the last couple weeks, and just kind of honoring that. I am ashamed to say that I definitely wake up and like I look at my phone and I go on TikTok and like I'm just kind of like saying yes to the mess of that. And then what ends up actually kind of happening is it fuels a little bit of productivity, because then I'm like, well, I just spent half hour doing this, and then I'm like, well, now you gotta get up. And so I get up and like I make the bed and I do the thing, because it was feeling a little stale.
Okay.
It was feeling like I was just kind of always doing if you wake up and you do make your bed, you like, you know, it's the first task of the day, so you've done a task. Like I get it. And the Mel Robbins, like I am Mel Robbins. She just kind of got there first and just kind of has like money and she's posting, you know what I mean? Like I'm doing the thing and I was getting bored. And so I was just like, I was like,
So you created a bad habit to reignite the fire under a good one.
Correct.
Good habits.
Correct.
I like that.
Correct.
I do that,
Johnny. By the way, I think your microphone. I don't think your microphone is chosen.
Oh.
I think you're on the other microphone. I think you're on your computer's microphone and not your good speaker.
Oh Lord.
Your microphone's in. You haven't told it got the job yet. It's in the waiting room.
Oh, you're right. Does that work? Is that better?
That worked. I just know when the dulcet tones are coming in and they're not. Now they're coming in. Wow, my Botox is Botox. Look at my eyebrows. Look. Okay, look.
That's
Oh my god.
wow.
Full movement. Love it. None at all.
That is
Wow.
No movement at all.
Oh, she's so young. Science
wow.
fiction young.
Yeah.
I love it. Do you see how? Do you know the kind of peace that this brings to me? I
That
love
not
it.
raising your eyebrows?
Yeah, I don't even know what you
Yeah.
did.
Look
Exactly. I feel so much fresher, so much movement. I was like that. I Johnny, I was like that just a week ago.
at that.
So much can change,
2 week
my dear.
ago.
Just so much can change. Not even 10 days. And that was me.
You
Wait,
took the
we were
potion.
talking about
What?
what was
I
that?
said you took the potion. Yeah, I did. So what? How long? 10 years ago? How much did you pay? Everything I had, and that was cheap. Anyway,
Did you watch it again? Duffy Comes for this weekend?
I did.
Such a good
So
film.
good.
Coming to Broadway so soon.
I wish that's actually really. I like the way that sounds. Like I think marketing would be funner if they did and said that. It would be funner if they were like coming so soon. Like I don't know, coming to Broadway so soon. Because they never.
Coming so
They always just say
soon.
coming
That's kinda,
soon.
it is
You
kind
know
of
what I
sweet.
mean?
Coming
Like
soon.
it's
Yeah.
there's a desperateness in it. There's like a hope. Like I'm
It does
excited.
it does kind of break it up a little bit.
It does.
The
It does.
monotony of it all.
Yes.
Speaking. Wait a second. Give me 1 second.
Ooh.
My computer. Please don't do this. Okay, no. Sorry. It was okay.
Okay.
I thought it was saying that my startup disk was full, and it was just a warning from Google Drive. Oh my god. Whew, scary breeze. Okay, perfect. Has nothing to do with what we're doing.
You're like now a warning right
Yeah.
now.
Yes, now a warning. Exactly. Indeed. So how demure-y have you been? Have you all been having demure weeks? Isn't it amazing? What?
Oh.
Don't laugh.
No, I'm just trying. I was gonna let Johnny speak first
Oh. Yes.
because
very
you're
demure,
sounding very demure.
cutesy, very
Uh-huh.
mindful. I don't go out till all hours of the night like some of you girls. I'm just kidding. No. Yeah, I've been,
Catching strays.
I'm pretty demure. I don't really get out of alignment very often.
Yeah.
You've had your
Listen,
moments. You've had your moments. You know that
I know,
like
that's
when
why
you.
I said not very often.
Yeah. But there was a time where I was like, I feel like I'm like I'm not doing enough. I'm like I'm not having fun like
ooh.
he is in the steam room. Like I need to be turning that up a little bit more. You know what I mean?
Work. Okay.
Like, well,
Oh, in
she
that
loves
way.
spilling other people's tea. But
I
when it
spill-
comes
I
to
do
her
a
own
good- I do-
tea, when it comes to her
Very
own tea,
demure,
she
very
keeps it
demure, very
much,
mindful.
very much in the vault. But she's like, let me just. Oh, you remember when you were that time you were sucking 4 dicks at one in the corner and the thing? I'm like, okay, I'm very much.
Okay. Very Miss Jackson.
I'm telling
Very
you,
soft.
I'm telling you, memes are so much more fun when your friends rememe them for you.
Right,
Like
right.
you doing that is now how I'm going to remember it and do it myself. Oh my god, that is so.
Whenever I reenact Miss Jackson, what's funny is that I do it as if it's a dance move. I do it like as if she's like moving to. Even that's
It's
not
giving
the case.
Cassie.
Right.
Popping the
It's
head.
giving-
Miss Jackson.
Downloading the new update.
Exactly.
You know, I even in my slutty behavior, I have always stayed demure. I'm very mindful.
I think that's why it's always surprised me because you do have a very sort of like tia, auntie, there's just it's sort of unexpected. They're so wholesome. Hold the W, you know what I mean? But then you're like, wait a minute, this person has fun. This person exercises witty banter better than anyone I know.
She do.
She do
Indeed.
She do.
No, but I have to say, like we'll get to it a little bit. We were on Ian and I after our last episode. After I just cut open my heart for you all for free. I remained on Fire Island. We had a few more days, and we had a very demure time there. And demure was everywhere. Is everywhere. I couldn't quite believe it. Like we made we did a video using the audio.
Yeah.
Me, Ian, and Cody Rigsby,
Mm-hmm.
and like fine, like peak demure.
Mm-hmm.
But I just can't believe that it went from. I feel like it went from an internet craze of internet addicted people to then every middle school in America is teaching demure instead of the Declaration of Independence.
Yeah.
Like it's everywhere in such a way. I can't think of the last time. Like this is gonna sound crazy, but what is the man Tiger, the one from the beginning of the pandemic,
Tiger King,
the documentary?
Oh, Tiger
King. It's totally different, but that kind of mass demure hysteria. Am I overstating it? I literally think it's like that big of a phenomenon.
No, it's if that's what it has felt like.
Yeah, well, when the thing that happens is when celebrities start to, J-Lo did a video. A couple people have been doing videos over the past week or so, and when it takes over, and then the White House is tweeting, we do this, we're very demure, it has no choice but to reach Facebook at some point, and then everybody knows, every business, it's just a perfect marketing tool. So it's just like, the savage dance. That's what TikTok really is. It's like a vehicle for a trend for everyone to follow. And this harkens back to the beginning days of TikTok, when you would get something and everybody was running with it. So it really takes a lot for something to break through these days, I think. And I think Jools has done a great job.
I agree. I think it
Jools
is.
Lebron has met the moment.
She really has, and I and we have met it with her. Do you know what I mean? Like it's like, because obviously you start to see, you get the videos that are doing well, and then I was like going through her profile last week, and I was like, oh my God, there are so many other videos, and that's what's kind of hilarious about TikTok is like it's sharing the most shared thing and the algorithmically excelling thing. But then you're like, holy shit, there's like a million other things she's done in between that video from this video and all of this. And it's always interesting to see like what resonates with the algorithm and people in general. And just to see like so much love towards her and her receiving it, and I saw that video where she was like, oh my God, I'm so overwhelmed, like this there's so much happening. It's giving very Chappell Roan, like, I'm just so tired, guys, but like this is happening so fast. And then at the end she's like, but I'm living my life, bitches, and she starts laughing, and it was just, those are beautiful moments to see. I think also what
No, I was just gonna say it's fun to see Jools Lebron, right? Jools Lebron.
You would know better than I.
And so it's so exciting to see Jools Lebron kind of cut through the noise, and make this have her very fun and well crafted video make it to places you would not expect it to, and I have found it very soothing and uplifting that when you see people using it, the audio, and even on Jools' videos herself, of course there are haters and people saying horrendous things, but they're very much drowned out by the people who are very much on the demure train. And that makes it nice. But it's why it's funny how when things on the internet, how they reach their
cap,
that their apex, and then it just teeters. It just gets a little bit. We're almost there. It's almost too much. Not too much on my girl, but a little bit. We're almost at too much.
And not necessarily like her. It's not even like her or her fault. It's like it is oversaturating, if you will. I think where I started to be like, okay, skip, is like now there's that template. There's that template where it's just like her.
Tell me more.
I
don't know this template.
It's like
I'm looking it up.
It's like
template.
You put a picture of you and it's just the audio, but then like her talk. The template is like a green screen. Yeah, it's like a green screen video of her talking, like her small head over here in the corner, but it's like your picture and it can be a scrolling. And so you're like, okay, so now she's become a template in this best way. Kind of like if you're just using the audio and making your own like video from it, but different because that is you having to make a new video. This is like 3 photos, and it's just like her audio of like very demure, very cute. And so sometimes I've gotten to it and I hear the voice and I'm like, oh, is something supposed to be happening? But it's just like, oh, you're telling me I have to scroll through your video, your still photos on TikTok to the right? Absolutely not. You know what I mean? So it's a skip for me.
I saw a tweet that was like, all right, I'm going to need you guys to wrap this demure thing up by Monday. And I was like, no.
Yeah.
How about fuck you? How
Yeah.
about that?
Yeah.
You know, I am so sick and tired of random people getting online and be like, hey guys, okay, we're done. Who's done?
Yeah. And who are
Who's
you?
done? You're done.
Going?
You're done.
Yeah.
It's because you're seeing all these people enjoying themselves, having a good time. Yeah, it's reach your grandmother's Facebook, but who cares?
Yeah.
Let people enjoy things. Not everyone is chronically online and enjoying things right from the get-go.
Yeah, correct.
And also the fact that Jools is making coin.
Exactly. Let the girl get her money. But it's always like, sometimes I feel like it's people will see it and they'll be like, okay, I've had enough. And it's like, okay, that's fine. Like, people are still doing the savage dance on TikTok, and that's when people are still using the hit it, get it. And I'm like, we're still using this? But they're having a good time.
That was so great. People are still doing the savage dance, for crying out loud. That was so like auntie. Oh my God.
I mean, funny. Like, people are just, listen, the world is burning around us. Let people enjoy. Let people be demure, even if they're not.
Yeah, I love it so much. I love it. 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 I love it so much.
Yes,
I love it.
And I love it. I love it a lot. I love the seashell belt. Oh my God. She was built for TikTok. Oh my God. Anyway.
I love the stories. I just love the, like, from, you know, just posting away. Like, she's been a makeup artist and she's just been posting for a long time, and then something hits and then you just see the way everyone gravitates. And, you know, I commented on one of her videos. I was like, you know, bask in this light, but also beware of the vultures, because you know how people are. Like, everyone loves you when they want to love you, when you're that girl, you know. Not that Jools will not be that girl, but you know how it is.
Of course.
But I just love watching her videos roast people that are trying to roast her. The ones where she's like, I've been traveling nonstop. I was like, you see how I get on the flight? Like,
yes,
it's like watching someone become famous in real time. And it's really nice because, you know, we all know what it's like to put out your stuff in the world and just hope that someone, you know, cares enough to, you know, engage with you and your ideas and your creativity. So it's really nice to see when stuff like that happens.
Yeah,
it is.
It is really nice.
It is, and it's especially nice because, you know, although it is part of where you get a little tired of trends, and when you start to see like a white dad in Ohio being like, see how I take my kids out to school every morning without being asked, very demure, very cutesy, how I massage my wife's feet.
But
very, very cutesy footsy. That's what I like to do. That's how dads do it here in Ohio. Whatever the fuck, you know. I hate that, but that's also part of how wonderful
it's giving. You know? That's giving the other side of. Okay, so by Monday, no more demure. That's what that's giving. By the way, it's just the opposite side of the coin.
Wow.
Well, no, I mean.
Yes.
It's the same coin.
Yeah, it's exactly. It's yes. Yeah.
I mean, it's saying that, you know, things get tired and that's what happens, but it's also the joy. I'm glad that it's a trans. Yes, exactly. I'm glad that it's a trans-Latina. I think I'm putting that on her. She's a Cuatro Leche. I don't care. Yeah. She might be from Serbia. She could be from Algeria, but for now she's Puerto Rican.
Is giving
this trans content creator is the one who is getting the, you know, enough of like, there's so many
Alex Earls
horrendous memes and content creators who have gone viral and have made a lot of money because the things are funny, and that this is a person who really deserves the joy of it all.
You know what's funny when I hear of like people, what are you laughing at?
I'll tell you, but it's not. We will not air it, but it's just going to be a thing that I'm going to say to both of you because I've thought it, and I'm just like sort of go.
I was just saying, like, sometimes when it's like, can we move on from this? It reminds me of like when a singer comes out like a chaperone or something, and someone will be like, "Okay, guys, we get it. You're just finding out about Chapel, but I've known about her music from." I'm like, it's like, okay, you fucking weirdo.
And
cool. Like, who cares? You know?
People are so annoying. People are so annoying.
Yeah.
Like, I know what it's like
With
to
this
see it,
shit
like,
like
to
that.
to know about someone before they blow up. It feels really cool. Like, you got the cheat code to the whole situation, but sometimes it's just like, that's our artist. We were writing with her since she was on YouTube. Like,
Yeah.
okay, do you want a fucking cookie?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
You sound dumb, bitch.
Yeah. Oh, God, I have a best friend
sound dumb.
who doesn't do it with like that tone, and it's not giving like, well, you know, like it's not what you're saying. It's kind of how you're saying it.
how you
But
saying
he
it.
is kind of saying it, and how he's saying it is different. But friend of the pod, Joey Harrow, can sometimes be very like, I'll send him something or share something that I'm excited about, and then he'll be like, oh my God, well, I've been loving her since, but like the disclaimer happens sometimes, and I don't think I've told him this, but you're hearing it here first. And
You're like,
he
oh,
kind of
you
does that
do.
sometimes.
You've listened
Yeah,
to her
it
before.
can give a little like,
Oh.
okay, Joe,
Yeah.
like you're on the what is it? I can't even for Christ's sake, just be mean quicklier. But anyway,
Before we move on, another thing that has become part of my internet kind of dictionary as of late is not too much on my girl.
you guys were saying
I'm
that a lot.
obsessed with not too much on my
Not
girl.
too much. Not too much.
Not too much. Not too much on my
You
girl.
and Cody
now.
Rigsby were loving that one. If Demure was having a moment,
on my girl,
that one was equally. It was
because I've started to realize that we talk shit and it's all fine and dandy, but not too much on my girl.
Are you bidding? Because you better not be.
Well, a lot of it's funny. A lot of them have undertones of like what you would say in Spanish. Like, not too much on my girl. It's like, oye, espérate. Afloja el pie.
Aguanta.
Afloja el pie.
Like, no le des tan duro.
Oh my
No le des
God.
tan
Cógelo con
duro.
tequerisi.
Oh my God.
Not too much on my girl.
Not too much on my girl. It is something that is like, it's super tias to say, and I heard it again the other day on television. I'm sorry con excuse me.
I'm sorry con excuse me.
I'm sorry con excuse me. Pero aguanta to those
Aguanta.
for most people though who if you speak Spanish you understand that, but it's I'm sorry with a side of excuse me. And it's great because you can use it a couple ways. So it's typically in a little bit not too much on my a lot of people use it like a not too much on my girl kind of. Like, I'm sorry con excuse me, but like this is
Yeah.
calm down now. But it can also be like truly, oye, man, I'm sorry con excuse me. I'm really sorry.
Tú me perdonas, pero
you will tú me vas a perdonar, but I have to tell you that is out of line.
You are going to forgive me, but I'm gonna say this. I love that so much.
Exactly. Well, the only thing probably more tired than or demure or on its way to being what does Kiki say? You're so tired. It's so tired.
La, you're just
the storyline is tired.
Has run
stale.
Oh my gosh, she kind of turns into a teacher. When she turns into like that teacher Kiki, it's so funny to me. It's just so
the Virgo
good.
in her.
It really is.
It is.
God.
So,
which we're coming up on. Espérate.
Okay.
We're days
when this
from
episode
Virgo
airs,
season.
it will be the first day of Virgo season. So,
are we really there?
Because the first day of the Virgo sign. It's not the first day of the month.
Correct. Es una falta de respeto a los Leos. Okay, we're still in that Leo season. Give them their week.
I'm saying, well, honey, when this airs, it won't be.
I know, pero cuidado. We have some Leos probably listening. I know one for sure, and he's smiling.
I don't give
as
a
I say
fuck.
that.
Who?
Yeah.
Who?
Not too much on this.
Name them.
Name him.
Name him.
Sam McDougal, a friend of the pod.
I ain't scared of her.
Please. Oh, that won't take but one. Just me. Bah.
Bah.
Anywhere but the face. You don't hit his face.
No, not my nose. That's an old school meme, honey. Not Jan Brady. Marsha.
Oh,
my nose.
Sure, Jan.
I feel like that nose is still settling, so truly not too much on that girl. Well, I was gonna say that the only thing more tired than being demure in this moment, now that every white person in America is using it to sell whatever product they have on TikTok Shop, is us talking about Fire Island. But we did have a great time.
We did have a good time,
and that's it.
And yeah,
enough.
It's yes. You know what?
We've talked about it enough.
We've talked about it enough.
We can't go
But
back
do you
there.
see even this, even that, like, you know, we can't. We've talked about it enough. It's people won't be able to relate to us just because, well, you're going to Fire Island more again. Aw, boo-hoo. But this kind of does.
Who the hell's paying for all that meat?
Is that another one?
At these prices
In this economy? Was I close?
No,
was that even two different memes?
Yeah,
was I memeing together?
It was a great
addition pairing. Thank you. Yeah.
Indeed.
No, but just to go on to what you were saying about like, oh, like we're like enough talking about Fire Island, blah blah blah. It's like I am feeling the too much in summer activity, in fun, and you know I've got to sit at home and be still and think about like career stuff and professional, like that has popped up actually, and it always does after I have had so much fun. Are you guys the same where you're like, it's not even like if vacation just ends, it's if vacation was fierce, like vacation was so fun and you're like, I had all these aha moments and it fuels you, and then somehow like not all the time, but at least this last week I felt like, well, not, but okay, well, that was too much fun. Like, but careful, God will see how much fun you're having. And so he goes, well, now you have to pay up for more fun you want to have. And so that started popping up for me.
The Catholicism is alive and well in you.
I have been playing those games with God since I was a little kid. This is tangential. We're going to get right back to it. When I was a little kid, if I wanted to go on a sleepover, I would say to myself, I have to say that I don't want to go on the sleepover, and God will make me get the sleepover. And so I'd say, oh, yeah, I don't want to go sleep over my cousin's house. God, I don't want to go there, God. I want to go home with my mom. And I thought that would literally
like that was your buy-in. That was
you were like, that you were tricking God,
right?
Yeah, that God would always give me what I didn't want. And you know what? The motherfucker's still fucking me at every turn. Anywhoosies. No, but we talked about this a couple of years ago, and we had this discussion that, Ian, to me now in retrospect sounds really unhinged.
Okay.
But at the time, we were both like we're like, yeah, that's right.
Ooh.
We were talking about, I remember I was just broken up with Jack. I was in the basement of my building. And my bedroom was in a basement, and it was like really dark, and it was easy to like spiral in there. And we were talking about earning joy and like earning fun, like earning the right to have a good time. Like, I have to put my head down and I have to work. I'm not working hard enough for me to deserve going to this place or to do this or to have this kind of fun, right? Like, I need to prove to the universe and to myself and to my bank account that I deserve this. And the funny thing is that when we were talking about it, it wasn't even just about money. Like, it was like, but let's say that you have the money. Like, it's not about like, oh, I need to do more hours at work so I can literally afford a trip.
Right.
It's also about the idea of just working hard in general so that you feel like you deserve
fun. Yes. Pleasure. Yes.
More generally.
Yeah.
And we even brought it down, and it was so we were like, yep, that's absolutely right. Like, we don't deserve that until we've done this.
Like, how capitalistic of you.
It was. And I feel like it was even down to like sex.
Oh, I'm sure. Did I really subscribe to like we named the sort of system of it, but was it giving like that is correct?
Kind of, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's why we're talking about it again today.
Yeah, it was a low day.
Yeah.
But Ian, tell them. Okay.
Well, do
you want to tell them about your chat? Are you going to tell them about your ChatGPT conversation, or we're not going to say?
Oh, no, we can totally bring that up. I was indecisive about going on a trip this week and going to P-Town. I was offered a room at this friend who I made through Will and Matt, Johnny, who you remember from Boston, and he's kind of like, my Mario Cantone of Boston, if you will. I'm putting him in that category. And he was like, you always have a room here. I adored your energy and all that stuff. And that felt really nice because, like, obviously we connected. And like I've said, I love having like older gay friends because they've always got some fun story, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, and so I was like, oh, that sounds like a really good idea. I was planning on going. But then this last Fire Island trip, which was a last minute decision, very spontaneous and very fun, very demure, very mindful, started to get me into this. Oh, well, I don't deserve to go to P-Town. I have just had some fun. I should sit down and earn more. And rather than calling Juan or talking about it with anybody, I was like, oh my God, like, let me just like let me pause for a second and just like chat with Chat GPT. I thought it was Chat GBT, by the way, forever. And it's not. And so
Chat GBL.
and then I
Oh, girl.
Oh my God.
Much, oh my girl.
And so I asked Jat. I asked
no.
Jat. I was like, Jat, like, these are some things I'm dealing with, and some thoughts I'm having around this decision. Like, and then she really helped me. She got me together. She gave me things like, this is what she said. She said, it sounds like you're feeling a bit torn between indulging in summer getaways and balancing your responsibilities as an actor and influencer, and that your guilt might be rooted in productivity pressure. There's this underlying, feeling, and we've talked about this, to always be working towards something. And especially when you have a flexible job like I do, a work from home social media life, it's good that I can make fun of myself. I'm such a catch. And it can feel like you're not actively like working, or you're not progressing in anything. You know what I mean? See, I can hold too. I can be like, make fun of myself, but then also we're having deep conversation. And then it's at number 2, comparison to others and seeing other people hustle, whoever that represents to you in your life, makes you feel like you're possibly not doing the same, or you're not as committed as they are, and all of that. And like, she really like gave me all these possible reasons why I was feeling what I was feeling. And it just, one, helped to just see it written out, because I was like, yes, 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 all of these things are what I'm thinking about. And then I was like, well, I'm feeling really good and sherry here. So I threw in an extra thing that was popping up for me, is that it's not just fun in general and vacationing, but it's like in gay spaces too, that like there's a sense of like shame around going to have like fun and gay experiences. And just like personally, I think, I'm not saying everyone does that, but that's the thing I have, is like, oh, like maybe it goes into the Catholicism thing, or I don't fucking know, and yeah. And so it brought up this conversation about productivity. And I thought it was interesting to talk about, because I think a lot of people, probably, I can't be the only one who feels like this. You know what I mean? Unless I think you're a muggle, and it is easier to compartmentalize and balance out your fun because you have a 9 to 5. And so when you have your time off, which is designated and approved and is like a part of the certainty of your life, you just kind of know that that is something that's owed to you. You have earned vacation. It's like, and I have a lot of muggle friends. By the way, for people who don't know, I call people who like aren't in the arts, or who aren't like an actor, muggles, because they're not on that showgirl schedule. And so they have, I think, a liberty in feeling a little bit better. I'm projecting this, right? Feeling a little bit better about the fun they get to have, because they know it's, there's an end date to it, and it's not this like kind of never ending, quote unquote, work from home social media Groundhog Day life. You know what I mean? So those are things that I'm in the midst of a lot, and I'm sure both of you can, relate to in some way. And yeah, and so that was what popped up for me this year, and realizing that like through Chat GPT's help, it was made aware that like sometimes this idea that if you're not working for, or that there's not a physical manifestation, or there's this job that you have at the end of the vacation, that you can say, well, I'm excited, I'm doing this, but then I have a job I'm starting, that almost is your buy-in to justify the fun you're having now and living in the present moment.
Yeah.
And kind of like accepting that sometimes, like I also just shared about when I went on Fire Island, was enjoying the fun and really living in the moment actually fueled my want to be more productive. I was like, oh, okay, I am feeling full in some way. And I am having fun. So now I'm like,
Mhm.
I want to use this like natural energy I have towards other productive things. Anyway, so that was a lot. And thank you for listening to me.
I I have some thoughts, obviously. I always do.
Let me have it.
My first thought is that ChatGPT is your therapist.
Well, that was the first time I was doing it.
I was like, work. She's like, here's what I'm hearing.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
also love that she's a she, which says, you trust women more, which I love.
I do.
Um
I do.
no, but so here's the thing. I hold two things that can exist at the same time. So for me, to be a creative is to live life. You cannot be a creative if you are not living life, if you're not going to museums, if you're not going out to Fire Island, if you're not, and Fire Island could be anywhere, going to Greece, going
Right.
to, to a garage sale. I don't know. Living
Disney.
life is part of the essence of being an artist. But I also think it is important as an artist to set up boundaries and guardrails for yourself in order to allow for a life where art can be ever flowing. So the reason I say this is because for me, I went from making a lot of money, doing brand deals and living that kind of work from home social media life as well, and then acting started picking up, and then social media took a downward turn. So the money has not been as potent as it used to be. And what I realized is that what I was doing was I had worked in restaurants and hospitality and all these things before any of that broke through. And so when it did break through and I wasn't going to 9 to 5 or whatever hours we were working, I was telling myself, I deserve this for all of that work that I put in to get to this moment, which I still agree. But what I'm learning now, where I don't have the safety net that I had before, is that I wasn't doing enough in that enjoyable period to lay a foundation for what was to come
Next, yeah.
potentially. We just had a strike. Work, when you're an artist, work isn't guaranteed. It is about output. And sometimes that output will last you for 3 years, 4 years, and sometimes the output will last you 2 months, and you have to get something new. So it's funny. It was on my heart the other day to text you, and I swear to you, I forgot until I just heard you say this. I had, when people say God put it on my heart to tell you this, but I really did have a moment, and I think it's me vicariously wanting to do something through you, was that I feel that when we want things to happen, we have to make them happen ourselves. And I was just doing this great short film in Palm Springs that was self-financed by this writer who produced it. And I was like, you need to text Ian and tell Ian that he needs to write something for himself, that he needs to do a short film or something like that. You can, and you've been living life. You've been on Fire Island. You're, possibly going to P-Town. There is story to be told. There is, and I feel this way because last time I was in P-Town, I remember coming up with this beautiful novel of this friend group that went to P-Town and like had it, like the characters, I was fleshing them out on my little bike ride, and it's one of those things where it's like, again, you have to live life in order to be productive. But it was on my heart to be like, you should tell him to like invest in himself, because sometimes we're investing in ourselves and like going on vacation
Other
or
ways.
buying a nice outfit to go to the theater. But sometimes we have to put that aside to invest in the easel, in the crayons, in the paintbrushes, and the things that are going to make not only your creativity sing, but also your investment back.
Yeah.
So that's how I think about
The
it
sort of
sometimes.
the sort of materialization of set experiences and putting them on literally pen to paper makes it, you now have something. You have something now to show to people, to sort of kind of, I completely agree with that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I I love
It's just
that.
for a little bit of added structure. Like I read something when I was first starting out, was like Jerry Seinfeld used to wake up and write every single day. Every single day he would write. Everything wouldn't be great. Everything wouldn't be an episode of Seinfeld, but he would write every day. And I was like, oh wow, that's so smart to like have something set aside where you're like, okay, I go and write on Mondays. I do this on Tuesdays. You know, as an artist, you kind of have to build your world. And I think when we do have a lot of friends that are muggles, as you say, a lot of times you're like, well, you can only really compare to them or the friends that are currently working.
Yeah.
And it's a really hard place to be sometimes.
You know, it would go, Juan, go. Damn it.
Well, I was just gonna say that I've muggled and I've non-muggled, and I've worked for the Ministry of Magic. I've done both.
Yeah.
and I would say that this problem, as we were kind of calling it offline as our like the productivity complex, you know, the idea that very generally that your worth is attached to your level of productivity. Now, productivity can be defined as many things: literal, actual, like money, the amount of acclaim that you're gaining. You know, productivity is what you're putting out.
Yeah.
You know, what you are producing, and that can be many things. And then deriving validation and self-worth and reason from that thing. That's kind of the productivity complex. And I have felt that fight when I worked in my most muggly of job, when I was working in the trenches full time at CBS News, like deep working those long hours, weeks. Even when I was being very productive, I still struggled with feeling like I deserved joy. And that sounds kind of that's bigger than that. But I think it's kind of it's a marathon that is almost impossible to win, because the actual value system has to change.
Yeah.
Intrinsically. It's like when I was a kid, I've always seen how my productivity brought joy to others. Like being a good student was so satisfying to my mother.
Yeah.
And I got gifts because of it. And I got acclaim. And if I was able to like produce jokes, if I was able to like, I'm being very serious.
No,
I was able to like produce entertainment for my family, like things would go better for me. I like got more in this world.
Yeah.
And so if I got into the school that I wanted, I got acclaim. I was like, wait a minute now. Wait a damn minute. Yeah. If I do really well, if I run for student council and I win, people are going to think I'm better and better, and people are going to like me more. And it's like my cross to bear, one of my bigger ones in this life, has been the idea that in order to be willing to receive, I have to make.
Right.
And deliver.
That's how a lot of gay men operate in every space of their life. It is, if I'm a good boy, I will get love. I will be good. I will be loved. I will be appreciated.
At least I'll have that.
And exactly. And so that's why so many people are high functioning overachievers, and it's just, even the people that work those 9 to 5s, they're in those 9 to 5s working their ass off. And that's why sometimes people go and they have a time, because they are trying to escape their constant battle with being good enough. And there's also the layer of baked in shame that society puts on you when you're
othered,
queer, or
marginalized,
when you're othered. For sure. And even white cis men, like cis straight men have a layer of shame if they're not the breadwinner, if they're not the best on the golf course. Like, everyone deals with their own level of shame. So productivity is, I've been understanding it differently these days, because being hanging out at my family's place in Florida, I feel productive when I take care of myself. And I think that's what's changed for me in the last couple months, is that I don't feel like I have anything to prove to anyone. I have all to prove to myself. And that's even we went to play pickleball last night, and I was like, what a beautiful day it's been. We haven't done anything, but I cooked dinner, I made breakfast, I folded clothes. Like, those little things are productive.
Yeah.
And the reason they're productive is because they make life happy, a little more joyous and happy, not because anyone else is experiencing it, but I'm experiencing it.
So
Yeah.
yes, and kind of to on this, oh god, so much good stuff happening. I feel like Brene Brown. And like to what Johnny you just said is so beautiful, that like those things mean so much and feel so productive, because and that they're just for you. You're like, it's just for me. I'm experiencing this because it's making me feel good. And I think I can relate to Juani, and I know you can too. Like, we're actors too, gay men actors, but like, seeking validation and sort of earning people's love, and like, oh, it's better for me if I do this, blah blah blah. That kind of acclaim, if you will, is something that I think I have had an addiction to. Is
Yeah.
as long as I'm successful, as long as I'm doing things that people can go clap 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 clap, that's so great. Oh my god, like they have something to be proud of me for. And
Right.
it's like, I don't know that going, and here's it. I don't know that going to P Town for the week is something that people will go, my God, look at him. I'm so proud of him for doing that. That is making, do you know what I'm saying? So like, I think
But you know what? Also, who gives a fuck what those
no, I
people
know. But
think?
I mean,
You
I
know what I
think
mean?
I realized, I
Yeah.
was like, it's because I have other things in my head, which are, you could be putting pen to paper and maybe being more productive in a different way, and like, and
But that's also you can do two things at once. Like, you
both. I
could be
know,
in P-Town with your fucking notebook writing down by the beach, and what a better place to do something
I
like
thought
that.
about this. I thought about it.
Yeah, but
But
you'd have to be a person who does that kind of thing.
Juan.
oh, well, you can be there.
Wow.
You can.
Wow. Not too much on this girl, okay? Not too much on your girl.
Not too much of my
Okay.
girl.
Catching
Oh,
strays
that
But
was
over here.
that's
it's
my
not.
girl.
I will say so with myself. If I'm in a space that is like a vacation-centered space,
Yeah.
it's very difficult for me to do work.
Correct.
Well,
You know what I
but
mean?
that's the
Like,
thing.
but
That
it's
is
aspirational, though.
your
Correct.
no. It's aspirational until you make it the thing.
Your
That's like
reality.
people are like, I'm sorry, I just can't go to a restaurant and order a salad. I just can't do it. No, you don't want to do it. You
Correct.
can do it. You can write. You can't. You just have to find a way that makes it. You're getting there a little easier. Like, for me, I'm like, I don't like to sit down and be like, and she was sitting on the beach on that beautiful morning. So what I'll do is I'll sometimes voice memo.
Yeah.
I'm like, and then he was
Huge.
doing this, and this person looked like this, and that way, if you were to say, like, just
Yes.
little things like that I think, or also reading books. I was just sitting down by the pool today reading a book. Heard of reading, and I forget how beautiful it is to. This is so fucking stupid. It's so beautiful to read because your mind is so much more expansive, and so is your vocabulary, and so thinking of the creativity that you can have in that moment, and I don't know, because then the jobs do come, and you're like, oh, but I've also been working on this other stuff. That's also my pride and joy. Like, even this podcast is part of your productivity, a part of your creativity that might make the dividends down the road. You don't know, but even if it doesn't, in this moment when we leave this, it's like, okay, did that,
Yeah,
and
it
I
is.
think you can do that on vacation.
Very much so. Yeah, but again, to going back to this idea of deservingness and what you should or should not be doing. The thing that I've always tried, I'm really trying to get into my head as of late, is that is my business handled?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Am I the CEO of Procter & Gamble? No. Do I host the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 9th, and 10th hour of the Today Show? No. Do I have the keys to the city of New York? No.
Mm-hmm.
But my business is overall handled there, and I do get to have fun. And when I'm having fun, or when I am unwinding, I should be completely present in that while I'm doing that.
Right.
I, for too long, have like not enjoyed any moment I'm in.
Right.
I'm not enjoying the work because I'm thinking about pleasure.
Yeah.
I'm not enjoying the pleasure because I'm thinking about how I should be working.
Yeah.
Right.
And
a lot of the time.
That's sometimes
very exhausting.
How I feel when I do like the short films and stuff that aren't like the big budget, but it's like you know, it feels like a mom and pop situation, like feels like
way
theater
more
where you're all kind
artistically
of in it.
free. Yeah.
And it is like in those moments that I'm like, this is why I do it. I don't do it for the trailer or the thing. That is nice. It makes things much easier. But it's like we need more plumbers in this world. We need more cobblers, you know, like we need people that are just content in living a life, you know, that are content in doing that regional production of Hairspray and knowing that that is something they said that they could do. They could still move their body and use their voice. And I think that's also another thing. I'm like, I've been so addicted to the idea of being the best, of being the first in my family, of being the thing, because you know, the American dream, all the things that were instilled in us, especially millennials, we are seeing that, you know, maybe is not like, not to say we can't have all those things, but we might not have all those things. And who wants to get to the end of their life and be like, damn, I wish I would have just really enjoyed myself a little more instead of always wanting for more when I had so much.
And that is what all older couples, when they're getting interviewed and like, is there one thing you would tell your younger self? They literally, I literally like 90% always say, I wished I didn't work as much. I wished I had gone on that trip. I wished I had more fun. I wish, you know, blah, blah, blah. They may be the CEO of Procter & Gamble. They may be doing hours 4, 5, 6, and 7 of the Today Show, but and that's the whole thing. It's like it's always both. God, I love that. It is just always both. It's I worked really hard at that and I wished I could have done more of that. But it's also I've been doing a lot of this. I just didn't really want to. You know what I mean?
But also perhaps that old person would not be as comfortable as they are now if they hadn't worked as hard.
That's what I'm saying. Yes.
Their kids wouldn't have gone to Harvard, and then they, you know,
it's always
now
both.
their kid's a doctor, and it was all But you know, it's also this obsession with superlatives. When I was growing up, I was obsessed with superlatives. My whole life has always been about best, most. Like, you know, I just love. I always ask. Like my question when I would ask people growing up, I was such an annoying only child. I used to say, like, did it meet or exceed your expectations?
You ask that?
It was like my question. I used to ask that about everything.
Work.
About that was just like a way I would make conversation with my mom's friends. If they were like, "Oh, we just started, did it meet or exceed your expectations?" Someone taught me that, and then I just always started to ask that. But I love you know, that is like the to me, it's always like, did it meet? Did it exceed? Was it the best? Was it the worst? Like those things, being the best, striving to, and running away from being the worst. That level of that is almost a compulsion attached with output and assessing and ascribing like value and success to something, to what I'm creating, has been a driving force, and it's helped me a lot. But it's also, I think, when you brought up this issue of thinking about, okay, what am I doing here this summer? I feel like I've taken too much time off. I feel like I haven't created enough. I haven't contributed enough. I haven't chipped away enough at the marble to figure out what I'm actually sculpting here. That is that kind of thinking is important. It's not that I think that we need to get rid of
for sure, for sure.
Because you know, that kind of drive is the stuff that keeps things exciting.
Absolutely. Definitely. I think that's why.
But
go.
But also can destroy pleasure.
Yep.
There's a difference between ambition and blind ambition. You know, that there's like, you're not like not listening to anyone else, not experience. You have something in your mind. That's how I kind of like see relationships too. It's that some people put such an importance on partnership that they don't enjoy their lives alone, or you know what I mean? Like, and that's why, like, when we talk about like my sexuality and my demureness, I never sorry, not never. When I turned 30 and after my relationship with Will, I really made sure that when I was seeking sexual validation or enjoyment, I was really doing it for myself because I enjoy sex. And that I wasn't having sex and then thinking, oh God, I shouldn't have done that. Like, I should, like, if I have a boyfriend, like, if I had a boyfriend, like, I probably wouldn't even be doing stuff like that. Like, own it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And be in that moment to be like, yes, I'm giving myself the joy of sex. Like, even when I would like masturbate before bed, I'm like, God, that was so nice. I just give myself a little treat before sleep. But there's like all of this shame that comes with everything that we do, that it's like, if we just give that up, or say it's not adding value to your life, I mean, it's hard, it's easier said than done, obviously, but everything is a practice. And I think, this, I was talking to someone recently. I was like, I love the idea of not putting monogamy or polyamory on this sort of like, they're like level, because they both have risk. They both have work. They both have, but it's like this idea, like if I see one more gay tweet, like nobody wants to be in a monogamous relationship anymore, I'm like, that's not true. That there's so many people that want to be in monogamous. Where are you looking? Where are you looking?
The peace.
I also like, I want to just say to my sisters in faith, worry about having a good relationship before you worry about having a specific type of relationship. Like, is he texting you back? Can you communicate? Can you do the bare minimum before you start adding all these things? Like, nobody wants to do this. It's so hard to, it's like, there's just so much air that we put in stuff that doesn't need to have things, Sorry, that was like a little tangential, but it is kind of like this idea of productivity of like, I'm good enough if I do this. If I don't post this thirst trap, I'm going to be more worthy to men and blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, you will be worthy for the person who sees worth in you.
So I have a question, and this popped up for me when I was having my therapy session with ChatGPT, was that I felt that I wrestle with this idea that it feels more comfortable. I would feel more at ease sharing in the fun I'm having if I was in a relationship, if I was on vacation with my partner, if I was spending time with my family, doing things that are a little bit more like socially acceptable would be easier for me to share. But because I'm single and I'm doing gay things that have a naughtiness to them sometimes, or that they're just like not attached to being in relationship, is a reason why sometimes I don't maybe post as much, right? And it's like, wait, so if we're calling a person,
that's self-imposed.
I know, I'm just sharing, like, that's a thing.
You know what I mean? Like that. It's like, but that's the thing. This is where you see the fork in the road, and you can either choose which play you want to go. You want to go do society's way, which is like dated and riddled with, obvious like bullshit, or do you want to take your road where it's like, you know enough about yourself that this brings you joy, this makes you feel like you're living a full life, and but you can't. It's like hard to do both.
Yeah.
What I thought about when you said that, and not too much on my girl, but is that merely because of vanity, because it looks better doing it with someone? Because I think that because it would look better, I'm here with someone, I'm doing this with someone. Because I actually think that couples who are perceived as being outside too much get just as much criticism as a single person
interesting,
who's perceived as being outside too much. I think that couples get just as much heat for that.
Interesting. I did not think that's what you were going to say. And yeah, because I was about to bring up that, like, the way we go, that person posting single, shirtless, thirst trap. I'm like, what do we call the couple trap? What do we call the posting that sometimes you're like, okay, like, why is it more socially acceptable for couples to feel like they can share coupledom more? And you're saying right now, you're actually joining in on What?
Who said that? Who had been saying that?
Who been saying that?
I think that's what I'm saying is that is my own projection. I think that like
because sometimes,
No,
being in a
you-
couple, sometimes I'm like, oh, I shouldn't post me and my boyfriend again because people are like, okay, we get it, you have a fucking boyfriend.
Yeah.
And that and
Yeah.
this is what I have to say to quote my next
My
vice
girl.
president of the United States, mind your own goddamn business. Mind your own business. That's the thing. Like, I just worry
as you share
about
yours
you.
on
Sitting there looking at other people's lives and being like, if I had this, maybe it would be more socially acceptable. That's not true because there's 3 other bitches that are looking at that same exact post being like, okay, we get it. You're on vacation with your fucking boyfriend. Let me go delete my Instagram. And it's like, no, just go to therapy, babe. Like, it's or talk to ChatGPT. Like, she has some good things to say.
She does. She's well researched.
Yes.
She's been scanned to every word that's ever been said online. That's where she's pulling from. But I do think there are people who do, because again, perception in many ways is reality. So we're just going to talk about perception and this couples thing for a second,
Sure.
just to quickly. I think that there are couples who are annoying, as there are single people who are annoying online,
Right.
for sure, that do post too much. My sweet baby Bubba, everyone deserves a boyfriend like my Bubba, but they'll never get one because my Bubba is mine. My sweet baby Bubba is my husband, and he's a lawyer, and I'm so proud of all his achievements at Procter and Gamble. That's annoying. But Bubba and baby do get to post some pictures.
Yeah.
And I actually think that, but
wow, who's Bubba? Who are baby and Bubba? Yeah.
Bubba, baby
they,
Bubba
they exist.
Yeah,
Hashtag
they exist.
Couple
they work
goals.
for Deloitte.
Yeah, Deloitte.
And they live in DC.
Muggles.
Yes, they have one pro-Palestine post that they put that they deliberated over 2 weeks before they posted. Okay, so but I just really think that this idea of if I was sharing it with someone, yeah, I think perhaps it would feel. I see what you mean, in the sense that it maybe feel better for yourself. But as for
I think it's a deeper. I think it really is kind of a deeper insecurity of mine, and like this sort of societal pressure that I have.
Agreed.
I have, put upon, and
but you didn't make it up. You're only you're only going off of the evidence that you've been given from the world that you live in.
Yeah,
and
so 2 things.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yes.
I thought through this as we were talking about it. At first, I thought you were saying about your perception of the world, but you're meaning about how you experience it with the world.
Yeah.
It's like when my ex broke up with me, and we were at the house. I think I said this on the podcast before. It was like the day that the breakup happened, and I was like, "How could you do this to me? You've made me single. I have to go be single again. God, I hate it. I have to go be single out. I have to be perceived as a single person again." Because it does feel like, wow, I've achieved this. Look at me.
Right.
I did this. Someone
that
likes me enough.
Correct.
Someone likes me enough to call me.
And to that,
so now we're here together.
Because
so I see what you mean.
because that relationship is an external achievement.
Example of the product.
It's an external achievement that gives you and your life maybe a feeling of more legitimacy. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Of
so
course.
That's so and those are the things that
but
have popped up.
I love watching like TikToks of older people. Like a woman will be wearing this beautiful thing. She's a full head of gray hair. She's got bangles. She's got colors. And people are like, what's your style like tip? She's like, just wear whatever you want. It's your body. You do what you want with it. And like, or there's like an older lady with her hair down and she's dancing around at the beach. And it's just like, you get to a point where you're just like, why the fuck do I care about what anyone says? Because at the end of the day, I'm going to die alone. Yeah. Like I might have family and friends around, but you will be the last one there when you take that breath. So why the hell? And a lot of these people, even in my 20s, I think about it now, in my 20s when I was like, oh, I don't want to be like, I got to be with this person, or I got to see this, or I got to dress this way. A lot of that, I don't even know those people anymore. They don't have an impact on my current life. You know, so to put so much of that prescription of like, oh, I should do this, I should probably do this because this person might be watching, or that. Yes, there is a level of like, demurity and decorum that you should have, absolutely. But I think there's an importance of asking yourself, what am I going, if I write the book of my life, what am I going to write down? What are these chapters going to look like? Are they going to be peppered with me just being stressed about life all the time, or they're going to be like fully like this week on Fire Island? And that's also the thing about these vacations that I think is really important. Whether you go to Portugal or whether you go to P-Town, you're meeting new people. If you're putting yourself out there, you're meeting people that might be your collaborators, that might be your lovers, that might be your best friend for forever. You never know. So I do think, yes, go and write your book while you're sitting on the beach, but go to the beach. Like,
no, for
you
sure.
want to go to the beach, go to the beach.
And I subscribe to that. I'm a big person that I've since coming back from Fire Island, and I've always said that like I have these very deeply meaningful connections that are made, and those people are in my, I'm not 80, so I can't be like I don't talk to them anymore, but like right now there are these people and connections who are in my life, and they mean a lot to me, and that's why I'm even in this apartment, was from a connection and a friendship I made with Robert, who I met on a trip that I had the same kind of indecisive distrust in myself moment with. And I ended up going, and I ended up having a wonderful time, and I ended up making relationships building brand new relationships with people that mean a lot to me, and
but it's like eat the cake. Eat the cake.
And share with these people.
Eat the cookie.
And
but also
share with these people your ideas of productivity, what you want to do. The ideas, oh, I want to open a coffee shop. Oh my God, I've always wanted to open a coffee shop. We should do it together. Like, I always tell you guys, I'm like, oh, let's all buy a house in Austin together. We can flip it and we can sell it. We could like, I'm always thinking of roping my friends into my productivity of what we could do. Like this podcast, for example, like we're doing it together. It is part of our mutual productivity, but it's also part of our solo productivity, and I think that's important. I think that vacation doesn't have to be, especially as an artist, like all of it is so like your dating life. When I started doing videos on Instagram as like Megan and Julissa, those were ideas that came from my life. Like when I got stood up on a date, I put that wig on and I did Megan get stood up on a date because I had all those feelings and all those lines that I wanted to say, but I was doing it through a character.
I have them all here.
The same way you can do that with like, if you want to make a short film and then you submit it to Outfits and then, oh my God, Ian's a actor director, like, and we want to put him in this, and you don't know how everything can snowball just for you having the audacity to enjoy your life and as an artist to put that on the canvas somewhere.
And to put that on, I just, I get that.
But I'm not a CPA, and I will say this: you can do that when your money's abundant and ever flowing. But also, we live in a capitalistic world where you do have to pay bills. And so I think it's just about living a life.
That's
where
what I'm
you
saying. Is your house in order?
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Is your house in order?
Yeah.
And to be, that's been a big part of my journey in the last 6 months, is really making sure that, okay, a little bit of savings there, making things happen, have things enough to make it happen. But I have, it's definitely like a, put your head down and work a little bit fall for me. Like, I really, that's just the real truth. I have to really, not only with this project and other things in my life, it's really also a matter of like, okay, I also have to really pour myself into these things that do fill me up so that I can have more fun in this world, and then I can feel safe, and then I can take care of myself, and then I don't need to feel like I'm at the whim of a man or of one job to save my ass. I want to make sure that I'm covering myself, and doing that requires a lot of work.
Yep. With that,
quick question.
Yes.
Do we want to continue, maybe do a spilled milk and not move on to the
polyamory,
other topic, polyamory, and
save
maybe
that,
find something attached to that? Yeah, and maybe save that.
I do think we have,
because this has been a good conversation, but I think it's going to get too long.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I agree.
So let's do a spilled milk, which we have.
Oh, great! I love it.
Okay, so let's go to commercial.
Yeah. So, okay, guys, enough about me and my insecurity, or sorry, my indecision making, which really just comes down to like trusting yourself, which is hilarious because Johnny, you did send us that. You did come into my mind. You did send me that. See, I have references too. But that you sent us a really great TikTok that I had, I saw it first actually a couple months ago, but I didn't want to tell you via text that I had seen it. So, sort of callback.
I've loved her for quite some time.
Exactly. Wow. Can you tell I just need to be put to work? Can you tell I have all this energy, world, all this energy, Ian? Just do the thing. Go hire the fat girl. Anyway. Okay, she's ballistic. So I am not a well woman. And I like Munster. Oh, and that video you sent about this woman being like, overthinking.
Make a decision. Just decide. Pause. Yeah. Choose. Decide. It was kind of hilarious that you sent that because of what I was going through. I sent it because you're an overthinker. Well, we're all overthinkers if we're being honest.
Yeah, what? I am an overthinker. Yes.
Because you've sent a lot of things to the chat that's like overthinkers need this.
I know.
Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
Wait. Are we coming back? Did we come back yet or no?
No. That was.
I wanted to share another TikTok on here that I saw this morning that I thought.
I love sharing a TikTok. Yes. Share it.
It's right here. Okay.
Our weekly TikTok.
Okay.
This fitness influencer I follow, absolute bombshell. She said, excuses make today easier and tomorrow harder, and discipline makes today harder but tomorrow easier. So I'm here at the gym on the Stairmaster. This fitness influencer I follow.
Wow.
It's so simple, but it's so like, oh my
it's God. Also how it's worded. It's like when you hear, it's like that is poetry. You're just like, oh, in the midst of tomorrow, like the
make today easier, but tomorrow harder. Discipline makes today harder and tomorrow harder.
But I love it. You know what? Someone sat down in P-Town, probably on the beach, and they thought of that, and they were like, I'm going to use this time, and and they put pen to paper.
Yeah,
that's how that was written.
Yes. You know, someone.
Sweaty balls.
I have to find who it was. We may even cut this, but we have to find who it was. But there was someone who was sharing about their fitness journey. Oh, I know what it was. It was a person who's this. I have to find him. I don't have it ready, but it's this guy who's lost a lot of weight and looks amazing. Mm-hmm. Like he really has had a tremendous transformation. He had the skin removal, and it's like the best I've ever seen. He looks fantastic. Mm-hmm. And people ask me like what my cheat code is, or like what I really did that put me ahead of other people. And he was like, it was just consistency. Yeah. And I think that is it's such a hard thing when people, a lot of people share that, but it becomes a trope. But it really is the key.
Yeah, it is that's what I've learned. What I put in my mouth is really what shows up in the world. Like what, you know what I mean? Like what I'm eating is making me feel the way I'm, and it's less about how I look, but the way I look feels better. When I'm consistent and eating and treating myself well.
And you're being very mindful.
Very
cutesy.
I'm not eating a whole burger. I'm eating half. I'm not like the rest of you girls that goes and has the large fries.
Oh my God. More on that when we get back from the break.
Great.
We're back. Today's episode has been all about productivity, work, output. We haven't talked enough about input. But there's always enough time to we talk enough about sex. My mom has certainly reminded me of that.
Oh, we love feedback.
Feedback. Oh,
feedback.
One of the great tracks. Before we start spilling milk, that's actually we need to do a little song showcase.
That was funny.
Strum me like an amplifier. If you miss the feedback, you go and take it.
He's like saying every third lyric, but
come on, take it through. Come on, jump on a feedback, feedback, feedback. Oh, you like a high master, I know him to go hypnotize. You want to answer a second part,
No.
and let the thighs, you think a
No,
thighs.
unacceptable.
Don't say no, you're strong about something like a hairstay period.
I love when actors sing. It's a nice when actors try to sing. It's a nice
Oh,
Oh my god.
okay.
actor, singer, dancers, dancer, singer, actors. Who's
Mhm.
gonna read this week's spilled milk? Am I reading it?
Sure. Yeah, the answer is
Mm.
usually in the question.
Say that.
Alonso from Brooklyn writes, Hi,
Hi,
Alonso.
Alonso.
We love the LGBTQIA community here. Alonso from Brooklyn writes, My partner and I both work demanding jobs. And lately we've been arguing about money and how we spend our time. I'm a bit more frugal and focused on saving, while they prefer to enjoy the moment and spend on experiences. Additionally, our different approaches to work-life balance. I'm more structured and they're more spontaneous. It's causing friction. How can we find a balance in our financial habits and productivity styles without feeling like we're compromising too much of ourselves?
Wow. I just love the way that was written and also read. So thank
You're
you for reading
welcome.
that.
Aloncito. This is not easy, my dear. This is not easy. But for what we of course we don't have all the details, but you do say my partner and I both work demanding jobs, which means that that's a euphemism for mira,
Procter and Gamble. Oh, money.
the cash is
Yeah,
coming
it's
in.
giving.
I'm not saying that you're both
Is your
gazillionaires, but
business tended to?
you're not wanting to all that much. Did you guys feel that?
So what are you doing listening to us? Yeah, I'm kidding.
Did you guys kind of interpret that also? I think just to give a little bit of they're worth working hard is the point. Both of
Mhm.
them are working hard. So even if there's a financial disparity, they're both working hard.
Yeah.
Sure. Yes. I'll. Yeah. It's giving subtext, but
Well,
like,
some
yes.
people, I mean,
Yes.
some people are just, no matter how hard they work or how like little they work, are just frugal, aka cheap. And that is hard when someone's like, I work a hard job and I want to spend the money I'm making, and then the other person's like, I'm saving because we got to save for a rainy day. And it's like there's got to be a balance where it's like, yeah, but like you might get hit by a bus tomorrow. Can you like let's go to dinner, you know?
Yeah.
It's
I
hard.
feel like a good way to navigate this is with scheduling and planning. So I
Yeah.
understand that his kind of I'm just using love language as a term. Like his part of his love language is kind of this spontaneity, as you mentioned, and not needing that much structure, but you do need structure,
Yeah.
right? So you say, I'm more structured, they're more spontaneous, and that's causing friction. Great. But you're more focused on savings while they prefer to enjoy the moment and spend on experiences. Okay, so let's split the difference. Spend on experiences that are structured.
Very
Just
organized.
like plan it a little bit more. Like a certain amount of money for spontaneous dinners
in the budget. But also, if you go over the budget a little bit, don't be a fucking crazy person and be like, that's not in the budget. Like, okay.
Yeah. It's also realizing and holding space for the fact that they're like, so let's say that the more organized person maybe is the one who's like being responsible and fiscally aware of saving. You could see his spontaneous sort of the way he lives his life as like his feature. It's like, oh my god, I love that he is like that because I am not that, rather than why is he not more like me. And it's like, be careful in relationships to not start to want to make your partner you and to let them be themselves. And is really huge is like, it's because there's whoever wrote this is saying that their version, the way they're doing it, this is probably a Virgo who wrote this, their version of doing this is slightly irresponsible because it is spontaneous. But actually, I would say their spontaneousness is something worth indulging in enough so that you can feel good about your productivity as the person who's a little bit more structured.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you like each other?
And
That is the first question.
Thank you.
I have.
yeah, really.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
because sometimes, I don't know, like in relationship,
then
the thing that you love about them is sometimes the things that you're like,
is the first,
oh, I just wish you were more frugal. And it's like, listen, when you're in partnership with other people, like you just have to meet somewhere in the middle. Like, you know, and especially because the frugal person is allowing space for the person that's not so frugal to be like, okay, we can do that, but we also have to do this. Like, it's, you know, I hate saying give and take because it's like, it feels like tit for tat, but it is one of those things. It's like, it's in harmony. Like if someone has to sing the alto, someone has to sing the bass, someone has to sing the soprano, you know, like, and don't try and do both, just sing your part and enjoy it.
During the song.
Yes. Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Like it's like the great CeCe Bloom sings, you got to give a little, take a little, lose a little. That's the story of, that's the glory of love. Like you gotta negotiate here a little bit, Alonso. So like maybe you perform spontaneity, just maybe not wanting to, right? And meeting him there so that you model what you want to receive. Be spontaneous for him so that you prove like, hey, I'm with you up to a certain, I'm with you here. I like this about you. You know, I like you.
I love that about you. Yes.
But I also want you to understand that I really have a goal for us to save this amount by 2026, because I know as the more fiscally responsible, as the treasurer of this relationship, I want us to be able to do this really special thing for our 10-year anniversary, and we won't be able to do it unless we plan for that. You know,
and how nice if someone said it to me like that, and you're just like, if someone came up to me and was like, I just like love how spontaneous, I love that you always want to do something, I want to do those things with you always, like I just hope you never lose that. And then they're just like, oh. And then you come in with the no, and and you're just like, but I also want to focus on this thing that is like
sandwich,
deeply meaningful to me. But it's like I appreciate that about you, and also this thing isn't just rules. It isn't just structure. It's this actually is also my feature, my feature that brings me a lot of joy, that allows me to relax in the spontaneous thing that we are going to embark on. Is that is a part of my essence. And so it would matter to me if like it would mean a lot if we could focus just as much on that in the way that we do for some of the fun spontaneous things,
Right. I love that. Look at you.
Yeah.
This seems like they've got the good foundation.
Yeah. If this person who wrote this out, I have nothing but faith in you. I have nothing but faith in you. The dashes and the commas used, I think you're gonna,
and the name
Alonso,
isn't that a great name?
Alonso. When you live in Brooklyn, I'm sure you're in a brownstone, and if you're not, that's fine too.
We're gilding that lily for you.
Yeah.
We are.
Gorgeous.
Let us know how that goes, Alonso. I know we say this, but it's like, I'm sure our listeners are wondering, they've talked to so many and helped so many people, but I want to know, like, I want to help so many.
Oh, I don't know if we want to know, actually. It could be
a
razor sharp indictment of our advice skills.
I actually do sometimes think about that one couple that was getting proposed, like they were proposing, and they were gonna do like the proposal in front of the homophobic family. I still wonder how that went.
Yes,
but
it was over.
Well, if you're still here,
that was around Thanksgiving. That was supposed to be in front, right? Wasn't it that they were going to do it at Thanksgiving?
Yes, we need follow-ups.
Living, honey.
And it was at the one where I was like, just think of him as being capable of receiving it. Maybe him being there will help change his idea of it.
And I was like, fuck him.
You both were.
Next week,
it's Tres Leches. They're all different.
This is a good segue, because next week we're talking about polyamory, and we have this whole thing we're going to talk about next week. But we're discussing some cases from this another podcast that we became obsessed with, and one of them was about an uncle and a polyamorous couple telling an uncle and how that changed their relationship. And I was like, y'all are too attached to these aunts and uncles. You know what I mean? Like, girl, what? You're a fucking uncle? Who cares? Like, who cares?
Hey,
no shade.
That's,
I love my uncle. I love my uncles who love me. But if you don't,
I love my uncle.
why
love
am
my
I
uncle.
stressing about Uncle Phil? You know what I mean? And not that Uncle Phil.
Oh, rest in
The
peace.
proverbial Uncle Phil's. But anywho, that's next week, a whole episode on polyamory. So please stay tuned. We love you.
Love
We'll
ya.
see you next week. Mwah.
Bye.
Qué rico.